Hello, hello. We have hit a reception area. Very nice. Welcome to Topical Tuesday. A lot of twos. It is Tuesday, May 2018. Steve Sipress here with my beautiful wife, Michelle, as we are heading out to dinner on a Topical Tuesday. Did not bring any of my rhinos for Rhino of the Day, but I'll get right to it. I saw on the news that this whole investigation into the president nonsense thing is getting crazier than ever. Not only is their whole made up as if Trump could have possibly colluded with Russians, like he would ever do that nonsense. That's been going on for who knows how long now. Trump is suddenly saying we got to investigate those investigators that are investigating me because they're doing the whole, pardon the pun, trumped up BS investigation. So a whole lot of them, like the whole Hillary and Obama and all the heads of the CIA and the FBI and Department of Justice, every single one of those corrupt government losers is now being investigated by somebody. The whole thing is crazy, and if you ask me, it all ends up with just Trump pardoning everybody, because you really don't put, like, the former president in jail, even though he's a criminal, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so I saw this thing, Trump tweets out, like, hey, the attack on me is worse than Watergate. And I'm like, look, first of all, of course it's worse than Watergate. I remember Watergate. Watergate was a half-hatched break-in to one little office, and who knows what they got, and Nixon was going to win the election by landslide anyway, and it was a whole meaningless thing. It was the cover-up was the big deal back then, and the shock that anyone in government would be so corrupt as to spy on people and steal stuff out of the opposing campaign, and it was just a big shock. But of course, this thing is much more far-reaching and insidious and much bigger than Watergate, but that doesn't matter, and that's the business lesson. Karen is here. Great seeing you, Karen. That's the business lesson from today's Topical Tuesday topic, is that being bigger or better often doesn't matter. What most often matters most in marketing and business is who's first. Okay, so, I'm a big sports fan. Let's take baseball. Everyone's heard of Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth hit the most home runs of anybody. He hit the most home runs in a season. He had 60 homers in 1927. Well, guess what? That record was broken in 1961 by Roger Maris. Anyone ever hear of him? No. And then it was broken by Mark McGwire, and then it was broken by Barry Bonds. But it's still, Babe Ruth is still Babe Ruth, and none of those other guys are, and whoever breaks it next is not going to be bigger than Babe Ruth. And Babe Ruth hit the most all-time homers. And then Barry Bonds hit more homers, but nobody says, oh, Barry Bonds is the number one biggest superstar in the history of baseball. No, that's Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, first superstar in baseball. So Babe Ruth is a part of society. It's a saying, right? You're the Babe Ruth of X, and you're the Babe Ruth of Y. And so it's Gate, Watergate. There's this gate and that gate, and I don't even remember them all, but there's Spygate, and there's, I don't know, didn't Clinton had like 10 of them? Something gate and something else gate and Benghazi gate and who knows gate and IRS gate, and everything's a gate, because even though something is going to be bigger than Watergate, it's never going to have more of an impact than who's first to market. So when you have an idea in your business and you're thinking of doing something, get on it, do it, get it out there, be first to market. You're going to capture, just by being first to market, a ton of money and a ton of business and a ton of attention that it'll take everyone else to catch up to you. And even after everyone else and other products or services or competitors are making better stuff and have better solutions, you were still first to market, and you're going to own that market at least for a while. So that's the message today. The business tip on Topical Tuesday is, don't worry about who's bigger than Babe Ruth. No one's ever going to have the notoriety of Babe Ruth. And what's bigger than Watergate? Sure, this whole scandal against Trump is bigger than Watergate, but so what? Nothing's ever been called, it doesn't even have a name. And if it did, it would probably end in gate, because Watergate is the biggest thing. So how about your business? Are you sitting on an idea and thinking about it and waiting for somebody to do it? And then, of course, you're going to make the famous saying that I've made a few times, is like, oh, you know what? I thought of that. You remember that thing that's really big and whatever? I'll tell you one thing I thought of. The 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, all-sports radio station. I thought of that when I was like 10 years old. Then when I was like 25, it happened. And WFAN New York was the first all sports, all the time radio station. And of course, ESPN came along in the 80s and was all sports all the time on TV. And I was like, oh, I thought of that, but I didn't go out and do it. So what are you thinking about that never been done before that you can pioneer and get into the market? Get it done. Get whatever help you need, whatever team you need, expertise you need, raise the money you need, anything at all you need, get it done, be first to market, and then whenever anyone's bigger than you, you can say, just like anything bigger than Watergate, you can say, of course it is, but so what? Watergate was first to market. Big advantage in business and in politics or whatever else you call it, or criminality or anything. And that's it for Topical Tuesday. David's here, and Jerry is here, and I can't see everyone else that's watching live. Thanks for the comments and likes, and anyone watching on the replay. We're heading out to dinner, and I'll be back tomorrow on Wisdom Wednesday. Thanks everyone being here today, and I hope you will join me tomorrow as the sun sets behind me into the west. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll catch you tomorrow on Wisdom Wednesday.